Thank you, Wendy. What I've learned, blimey, have you guys got about 4 days? We never stop learning about the afterlife, do we, when you think about it? It's one of those things, it's like astrology. I graduated in 1991 from astrology, and I'm still learning. Honestly, still learning. The afterlife. I was really prepared for today's wonderful meeting, and thank you so much for all joining us. I went to a spiritual church yesterday, and I wasn't going to go, but I sort of went along thinking, not feeling really wonderful, but I'll go anyway. It was almost like a conspiracy to get me there. Well, when I did get there, I had a wonderful healing, and I connected with my guide in that. Fantastic information. Then I had a contact from the other side. The medium came to me. And would you believe it was somebody who died in 1975, an uncle of mine, and he has not been in contact since then, except about a week or 10 days ago, he came through to me. I started thinking about him. And then all of a sudden, yesterday, there he was, saying that he's around me a lot. And isn't that absolutely wonderful when you have that? I tried to be a lawyer when I left school, very badly tried, and he was my master solicitor, as well as my uncle and my godfather. But he had a large impact on my life. And it's so wonderful to be reconnected after all this time. And to me, it was a lesson on they're around us all the time. They really are. They come, they go. They're not sitting on our shoulder all the time, although maybe somebody's over there right now, I'm not quite sure. But they are there. They're coming and going. They're helping us. They're guiding us. They're there for us. And all we have to do, and many times, is ask. And I use that old mantra. You don't ask, you don't get. So try asking if you need some help or guidance or whatever. So when I look back at my book Afterlife, which came out in 2011, feels like 1911 sometimes. It came out in 2011. And it was after I'd done a workshop for quite a few years, running that for Joe Buchanan, who is here with us. I mentioned earlier on, Joe turned her group over to me when she had to leave for Melbourne. And that was fantastic. But it was very, very early in my learning curve. I'd lost my partner to the afterlife. That's what I thought at the time. I lost her, but she was never lost. She was there. She came through. She guided me to write Afterlife. She pushed. She nagged me. All sorts of things from the afterlife. You have to write a book, Barry. Oh, God, all right, I'll write a bloody book. So I did. And Afterlife, uncovering the secrets of life after death. Well, that has turned out to be a bestseller. Still selling. I still get people. In fact, somebody bailed me up in a doctor's office the other day saying, "You're Barry Eaton. I've read your book 10 times. You helped me so much." And I thought, that's wonderful. To be able to know that you can write something about the afterlife that has an impact on people who still want, after years, to come along and say, "Thank you, because you have helped us." Not only me helping, it's spirit coming through and helping. And that is what it's all about, our contact with spirit. Now, I've talked about the book. I've talked about how it all happened and that before. I won't go over all those things again. But what I did discover over the weekend, funny how these things all come together, isn't it? When you least expect it. I decided it was time to start cleaning out some of my files and my books and whatever, and I came across a whole bunch of notes. Oh, how about that? Spirit working again. So here I am, and I found about half a dozen pages of notes that I did with a wonderful spirit group who helped me. Now, if any of you have read my book, you might know about John, who is on the other side. I call him my spokes spirit because he is the sort of a head of a whole group, like we are here now, like Wendy is, except they're on the other side. And John is the spokesperson for this group of over 100 spirits. And they come together in various sessions that I've done over the years, and they've come through with some amazing information. Now, I diarized all of the various points that came across in many, many sessions. I've recorded most of them, and I've played some of them on radio out there. In fact, I might even play one or two over the holiday break because I do a best of then. So when I started to look at some of the notes, I thought, now this is exactly what I need to talk about on Monday. One of the notes that came through here is, whereabouts is the afterlife? And so many people ask me that. I know that you've, in your daily life, people say, oh, well, where is this afterlife? Is it heaven? Is it up there? Or is hell's down there? Let me tell you what John and his group, because this group, they were on many, many different levels in the afterlife, they came through with this. And they said, the location of the afterlife is in another place and another time. It's on another plane where it's difficult to communicate with Earth. But all that is going to change. Earthly vibrations are going to raise and become more powerful. That message, along with the others, was in May 2011, only several months after I published my book. Now, a lot of this information was there 12 years ago. That is one of them. Where about the location? Right. So at that stage, also, information came through, and I'll quote once again here, Spirit is concerned about the desperate state the Earth plane is going through right now. This is 2011, remember. We are on the cusp of some wonderful things spiritually, but are being adversely affected by materialism. Surprise, surprise. They are sending us guidance. Now, let's dwell on that point for a moment. 2011, the desperate state the Earth plane is going through. We might have thought it was desperate in 2011. What do we think about it right now? I mean, Spirit warns us about these things. If it's desperate then, what is it now? Words fail me, which doesn't happen very often. But they are helping us. They are sending us guidance. Most of us aren't listening. Fortunately, I look around the group here and I know we are listening. We are helping to spread the word in whatever way we can. And that is so important, because something that is desperate is not going to happen in 5 minutes. Oh, yeah, well, did it last year, it's all over now, let's move on. We are going through a phase of desperation and transformation that I prefer to call it transformation, that we're going through right now. And Spirit is there to help us. And this is not only our family and friends in the afterlife, but also Spirit from all different levels. And they also told me about the difference between spirits and souls. And basically, the soul is our ongoing essence, our ongoing energy, never ever dies. And spirit is the vessel for the soul. So it provides the soul is the energy, but the spirit is the vessel. And then, of course, when we come onto Earth, we have another vessel. We have our body, which is the human vessel, so we can have experiences on Earth. That's all basic stuff that I talked about. But I had to put those into my book Afterlife, because so many people believe that we are bodies with a spirit. But no, as we all know, we're not. We are souls, spirits, with a body for a human experience. And once we realize, accept, and work with that, life changes. And it's up to us, I believe, to be able to help get that basic word out there, that we are ongoing souls, energy, with a human experience through our body. Our body, which, when I look around, I look in the mirror, I know it's getting older every year. And all sorts of problems come up at that time. But they are the problems that we have chosen to take on in our learning and our soul development. And that is just so important. On with the messages from the Spirit here, they are concerned about the problems between the East and the West. Oh, surprise, surprise, once again, 2011. A long-term problem, they described it as, with no simple solution. There's no respect between the two sides, they said. And this is the biggest problem of the whole 21st century. No respect. And they referred to government greed and corruption and its effect on the environment. Government greed. Oh, where have I heard that before? Government corruption. Really? How surprising. Over to June 2012, and the information was given. I think we all probably know it, but it's worthwhile just reinforcing here. The soul actually connects with our body at the heart. The heart is the connecting point. And that is why everything begins and ends with the heart. The heart is the greatest place for all our life's lessons. And when you think about it, when the heart starts beating, that's when life starts. Okay, it's in the womb. But life only ends when the heart stops once and for all. We can have near-death experiences, but the heart still keeps beating, or it starts beating again. So that is something also that a lot of people don't realize. They think the heart, the soul connects to the head, but no, it connects with the heart and moves up. And from what I understand, it actually leaves through the head when it does leave. They also wanted to let us know that this is a quick fix society. Yeah, everyone wants instant gratification, don't they? We need to look for answers from within. And that is the most important message they wanted to put out there. This global reliance on computers is not healthy, and we can lose a lot from seeking instant solutions. Now, when you look, computers are wonderful. We would not be here right now without computers, without digital. But our overall reliance, and now that's moving into AI, they warned about all of this 10, 11, 12 years ago. And I've had other warnings from other books and other instances in my book, Past Lives particularly. So we have to make sure that we use computers for the best. That's what the message that came across. To enhance our life, not to let it be controlled. And these are so important messages that are coming to us from the other side. So the afterlife is not just a bunch of people over there wanting to come out through a medium and say, oh, I have a wonderful message for you. I'm thinking of you. Lots of love. Have fun. Bye. No, mediums are bringing through now, the really good ones, are bringing through messages that help people to understand the greater aspect of themselves and their life and life on the planet. And I know this is where Wendy and I'm slightly involved as well in helping to promote this a lot more. Now, the other warnings they put out, and I know I'm going to be able to answer questions or get your comments, because it doesn't have to be questions. You might like to comment on these as well. And this is in 2012, and I quote, "The pharmaceutical industry is the greatest impediment to spirit, helping people with mental problems, interfering with life's lessons. The magic pill syndrome can interfere with life purpose." Think about that, and think about what we've all gone through with Big Pharma in recent years. The warning 12 years ago. So there we are. They are just some of the various points. I picked a few of them. I have got 5 or 6 pages of these things, and they are constantly warning. And I feel so humbled by the fact that they have chosen me, along with many, many, many others. I'm not the only one. I was told by Spirit, we want you to write a book about the afterlife. We want you to help people understand there is no fear in death. Life is ongoing. And you are one of many people who are out there helping to spread the word. And I know at the time, Wendy and Victor started their Friday Afterlife report. We all started about the same time. So we are all part of a movement in spirit to help get the word out about afterlife, about ongoing life, about taking the fear out of death, because so many people are afraid. Yeah, sure. I mean, we can be concerned about the way we're going to go, when nobody wants to be lying in a bed of pain. Nobody wants to drag on for years and years and years, as we see some of our older people in homes and feeling so sorry for them. But now there's a movement out to try and have euthanasia. Well, Spirit have told me that they really do not condone euthanasia, because some of the most important lessons that we can learn in our lifetime can be those in the months, even days, just before we pass over. And if we don't experience, learn, and evolve from some of those, we're going to have to come back and do it again. So that's why we come back with karma so often. We all come back with karma. We wouldn't be here if we didn't have karma. So all those things that we have come back here to learn about are things that maybe we took with us back into the afterlife. And that's important, that we try and balance our life. I was told that back in 1981, when I had a neurologist on my program. I had a commercial radio program in those days, a talkback or a callback program, as you call it in the US. And Mark Gruner was his name. And Mark said then, we have to balance our life before we can leave and not have to come back again. And that's really important, unless you want to keep coming back again and again and again with so many of the same lessons. For me, I'm ready to move on. I'm ready to totally balance and say, thanks, guys. I'll help from the other side. That's my ambition in life, help from the other side. So there we are. That's some of the points, as I said, I have raised about the afterlife. Now, when you mention my two books, Afterlife, Uncovering the Secrets of Life After Death, and also the sequel to that, No Goodbyes. Now, as I said before, Judy, my partner, who passed in 1997, and who's been around me on and off for a while, she's moved on now. She's moved on to another higher level, but she was still part of that group that John led. So she was there along with my father, who was also a guide over there. My father's around me a lot. I know about how you people connect with your family and parents and whatever, but I know my father is a person who helps people when they arrive on the other side, because a wonderful medium, Ezio De Angelis, put me in touch with my father several years ago now to help write that book, No Goodbyes. But Judy from No Goodbyes came out, and this was published in 2014, I started writing it in 2012. So this is when she came through with this information, and came through another wonderful medium who is here in Australia, from England, Val Hood. I don't know whether any of you have know or have heard of or heard from Val. She's a wonderful, wonderful medium. Anyway, she came through with Judy, and I quote from my book, "Never one to hold back her thoughts, Judy went on to say that in her soul group, they are also trying to help various communities in need, but that politicians the world over have the same idiotic mentality." Now, this is not me, this is Judy, right from the other side, in 2012. The same idiotic mentality. She went on to say that big changes are coming in the world, and they are not about to be brought about by politicians, because people themselves will need to get down and dirty, go back to grassroots, and politicians don't work that way. They don't get back to grassroots. So there's John and the group warning about the politicians, and now Judy has said the same thing. She says in another part of the book, there will be a lot of confusion, but people will be guided from spirit on how to change their lives. Individuals are now being placed in key positions where they will be able to help and organize things when the changes come. So I took from that people have been put in place over the last decade or so, and they are there. Maybe a lot of them are still in the wings. Maybe a lot of them are waiting for their opportunity, waiting for us to recognize them, to open the door for them to be able to come out and help us to transform. We've had lots of prophecies over the years and lots of people saying that Earth is going to transform. It's going to be broken up into two different divisions. Some that will move on, some that will stay in that third dimensional reality. But it's up to us, those people who are here, to be the, I don't know, the torch bearers, shall we say. It's like running along with that torch to the Olympic Games, saying, everything's coming. It's behind me. I've got the torch of light. And I'm bringing some light into your life. And that is what we are part of, a part of the movement to bring that light into our life, to be able to help people to understand, to grow and look for that door of opportunity, and to also open the door to those people who are here to help us. Now, they're the main aspects that I wanted to raise today. And I think there's enough there for us to have a talk about that. Now, I'm happy, as I said, to take any questions, and we can do it through Wendy or however, or just have comments, because, you know, this is not school. We're not here. I'm not the teacher. We're all here learning, growing, and evolving together. So your experiences are so important as well as what I'm bringing through here for you. I'm just one of the messengers that's around, one who's been honored to be able to be here between spirit and the earth. And I believe, I mean, I worked in radio and TV and film and everything for years and years and years, but that was just my training session. My real purpose in life is what we are doing right now. That is what I'm here for. So if I can be that messenger, hold that torch up to be able to help people, and we can all do that, then let's take it from here. So I'll turn it over to you at this stage to make some comments or ask questions or whatever.